Hi, hello, and welcome back to F1 Challenge Career Mode. My name is Mephisto, and today we're heading off to Spain for round 5 of the 2004 Formula 1 season. Let's get started.
Located just a few kilometers to the north of Barcelona, the superb Circuit de Catalunya combines medium-speed straights with an interesting selection of slow, medium, and high-speed turns. This dedicated motorsports facility is a good example of modern circuit design and is highly rated by most of the teams both as a race and testing venue.
Alright, so here we are in qualifying, and it's quite wet here. We have Pantano in front of us, who was kind of holding me up through the final few corners, and that is a 134.8. It's not bad, but it could have been a bit better.
Hello there. Welcome to Spain. The weather, as so often is the case here, is just wonderful. Schumacher consistently outpaced his championship rival. He starts first. Barrichello second. Button third. Takuma Sato fourth. The Sauber driver put on a fantastic display throughout the qualifying hour. He starts this race from a very promising fifth. Mark Webber sixth. Trulli seventh. Kimi Raikkonen eighth. Montoya, 9th. Giorgio Pantano, 10th. Cristiano D'Amata, 11th. Panis, 12th. Cristiano Klein, 13th. Alonso, 14th. David Coulthard, 15th. Schumacher, 16th. Gianmarco Bruni, 17th. Nick Heidfeld, 18th. Zopondada, 19th. Massa was way off the pace of his teammate. He starts in 20th.
But now here we are on the grid for the 2004 Spanish Grand Prix. We're starting from 5th, and I don't know what happened to Massa, but he's starting from all the way in the back. And despite what the presenter said, the weather is far from wonderful. As you can see, there's quite heavy spray coming off from the back of the cars. We have Trulli to our right trying to get through, and there he goes. There goes Webber as well. As I'm a bit cautious here, wet racing isn't really my strong point, so I'd much rather lose a couple of positions and try to get them back once the track is dried up than push myself, which would most definitely lead to an early retirement. At least I hope that the track will dry up. After all, this is Spain, a pretty warm place if you ask me, so considering its geographic position, the track should dry up pretty quickly. At least, that's what I'm hoping for. Anyway, I need to try and, at the very least, keep up with the guys ahead of me. But now, here is a replay of the start. No wheel spin this time, which is good, and there we see Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello rushing down towards turn 1. All the while, I was having difficulties figuring out where I was on the track due to the spray coming off from the cars in front of me. It's not a lot of fun when you can't see in front of you. So, we're now coming out of the revised La Caixa, and I really hate this corner. Mind you, I never really liked it, but making it tighter isn't helping either. At least I don't have to put up with the stupid chicane before the final corner. At least for the time being. That chicane is the worst thing that could have happened to this track. As I go wide out of the exit of the final corner, and that was Kimi Raikkonen taking advantage of my mistake. So let's see if I can outmaneuver him through turn 1. I'm reeling him in, move to the inside, and we're through. So now let's try and catch up to Webber. We've just started lap 3 and I'm lining up Webber for a pass. And that's 6th. Okay, let's keep this momentum going. Trulli should be next. Towards the end of lap 3, I catch up to Trulli and Sato, and from here it looks like I flipped Sato's BAR, which is weird because I didn't feel anything in the wheel. But here is a replay of the incident. There I am in the Sauber with Trulli and Sato up ahead. We go free wide and it looks like it was actually Truly who flipped Sato. Wow. Bullet dodged. That was a bit insane going free wide into such a tight corner. But we are up in 4th now, so that's good. Button is in 3rd, some 6 seconds up the road, so we have some catching up to do. So let's just hope for the best. We are now on lap 7, and Button is pulling away considerably. He is now some 15 seconds up the road, but people have started pitting, and we even have our first retirement. And there is Juan Pablo Montoya in his awesome looking Williams. I really like the so-called walrus nose they have going there. Anyway, it looks like Montoya is going into the pits. He has one of the BARs behind him, not sure who it is though. Whoever it is, he clipped the rear of Montoya's car and spun him around. We've seen something similar in the previous season I think, only it was at a different track. And we have another retirement. That's Baumgartner in the Minardi coming into the pits. There's Montoya. And that looks like Sato in the BAR. And Baumgartner gets tangled with the Toyota there. Then Weber comes around to finish the job. And whoever is driving that Jordan is reversing in the pits, which I'm pretty sure is illegal. So those are the first 2 retirements. Very similar circumstances. Meanwhile, Coulthard is starting to put some pressure on me, so I need to try and pull away from him. Seconds later, I'm informed that Coulthard had an accident. That's odd because I didn't see anything in my mirrors. So let's take a look at the replay, shall we? And here we are, that's me in the Sauber with Coulthard behind. Coming out of the penultimate corner, Coulthard peels off into the pits and he crashes straight into the pit wall. Wow! I've never seen anything like that before. How could that happen? Oh, and that's Ralf Schumacher crashing into the McLaren. Oh my goodness, that's one hell of an incident. And there's Ralf Schumacher coming out of the penultimate corner. We see a bunch of cars peeling off into the pits. Schumacher, however, continues on just to end up crashing into the McLaren of David Coulthard. That was one heck of an accident. So now both Williams are out of the race, and so are Coulthard and Baumgartner. This race is shaping up to be quite interesting. Anyway, at the end of lap 8 I had to come in for the first of my 2 stops, and we're switching over to soft dry compounds, as I feel that the track is dry enough for them. It hasn't completely dried up, but it's much drier than how it was at the start of the race. So with that in mind, I guess it's time to really start pushing. We rejoined the race in 6th and I would really like another podium finish. This is lap 12 and I go very wide through this tight left-hander, and that allows Weber to take my position. So we need to fight back as I now go wide through this right-hander, and that allows Sato to overtake me as well. Not a good situation to be in. We've just started lap 13 and I decide to go really aggressive through turn 1. I brake really late and that ends up backfiring on me. Alonso overtook me and I'm now down in 9th place. This is not good at all. Towards the end of lap 13, I was trying to catch up to Alonso. I was informed that Raikkonen has had an accident, and there's a yellow flag, so I need to be cautious. And that was him off to our left. That looked eerily familiar. And here's Raikkonen with Trulli in front of him, coming out of the penultimate corner just like his teammate. He peels off into the pits, and just like his teammate, he crashes into the wall. It's quite unbelievable to me how 2 drivers from the same team end up crashing in the exact same way, in the exact same place, in the exact same race, just a few laps apart. You'd think that his mechanics would have informed him of what happened to Coulthard and would have advised him to take it easy when he's coming in. Then again, the entrance to the pits here is quite a difficult one. Not only is it cambered, which generally should help, but there's also a bump in the worst place possible. And if you drive too fast over that bump, it will throw your car. I actually had something similar happen to me in GTR2. I came in a bit too fast, hit the bump and flew straight into the wall, ending my race. But this is not GTR2, this is F1 Challenge, and we are now on our final stint, so let's try and make up a couple of positions. We're not looking very hot at the moment. We're 9th. Lap 19, and with a combination of pit stops and an overtake which I'm about to do, we're now in 6th. Quite far off from the podium I was hoping for. And with about 5 laps remaining, I will have to settle for 6th. And now, coming around through the final few corners, unfortunately I was unable... Seriously, game? I ran out of fuel just a few hundred meters away from the finish line. How is that even possible? I know I had enough fuel. I always make sure to have enough fuel to not only finish the race, but to complete the cooldown lap as well. I either miscalculated this time or, and this is more likely, I ended up using more fuel than expected. So, goodbye points. This is so frustrating. At least the start-finish straight is on a slope, so we can coast to the finish line. But damn it! By the way, Codemasters, if you ever stumble upon this video, this is what happens to cars when they run out of fuel. They don't just slow down a bit, but are still drivable. The engine tends to cut out if there's no fuel to burn. You really should fix that. Anyway, this really pisses me off. I'm sorry for the bad language, but it really does. I'm not going to press escape because that would mean that I'm retiring from the race. I'm only going to press escape once the car crosses the line. Any second now. You know, it's quite lucky that this straightaway is sloped, otherwise I really would have had to retire just a few hundred meters away from the finish line. There we go, finally. Well, that was embarrassing. Anyway, let's take a look at the standings.
After that fantastic Spanish Grand Prix, let's take a look at the final results. Schumacher first. Jenson Button second. Barrichello third. Trulli fourth. Fernando Alonso fifth. Sato sixth. The Sauber driver 12th. With the results confirmed, it's high time we updated the Drivers' Championship. Michael Schumacher moves further ahead in the Drivers' Championship.
Michael Schumacher leads the championship with 38 points, Barrichello is in second with 28 points, Jarno Trulli third with 27 points, we are fourth with 26 points, Button is fifth with 20 points, Raikkonen sixth with 16 points, Fernando Alonso is 7th with 13 points, Takuma Sato and Mark Webber share 8th with 7 points, Juan Pablo Montoya is 9th with 5 points, in 10th we have David Coulthard with 4 points, Ralf Schumacher is 11th with 2 points, and Penis and Damata share 12th with 1 point.
Ferrari move further ahead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Renault are second, followed by the third place BAR.
Ferrari lead the Constructors' Championship with 66 points, Renault are second with 40 points, BAR are third with 27 points, our team is fourth with 26 points, McLaren are fifth with 20 points, Williams and Jaguar share sixth with 7 points, and Toyota are in seventh with 2 points. Well, that was probably my most embarrassing race to date. I never would have once thought that I might run out of fuel in a race, yet here we are. I wish I'd know how that happened, but I don't. Again, I always make sure I have enough fuel, so unless I somehow forgot to check, or somehow used up more than I had to, I don't really know how I got myself into this mess. But enough about that, because our next race is in Monaco, where as always we can expect a very high attrition rate. So we'll have to see how things go once we get there. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.